I spoke on this about a couple of years ago on an older YouTube channel that I had. And I'm gonna put that link in the description below about interracial relationships, right? Um, for me, um, as a 35-year-old black man, I'm strongly, when I say that, I mean it. I'm strongly against interracial relationships. I believe in black love. I support black love, and I want black love to get back to where it's supposed to be as it was before the civil rights movement, right? And I ran up on this clip of some ladies speaking about interracial relationships, and they giving they take. And I just wanted to share this video and give my reaction to it. But before I go into that, I just want to give my reasons, and of course I'm gonna chime in throughout the video. But I want to give my reasons on the offset of why I'm against interracial relationships. First of all, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. But first of all, it's abnormal. Let's just be honest about it. Let's not. It's abnormal. It's abnormal to date somebody out your own race. And majority of time, not all, but most of the time, when people date outside their own race, they do that because they think that they can find solace, or they can a problem that they dealing with in their own race, they can fix in another race, right? Like case in point, majority of the time when you see a black man with a white woman, either this woman is um more financially stable than he is, and he know getting with her, he can, pretty much live off of her, right? He can control her without no lip back. He can basically do whatever he want when he dealing with a white woman, when he know with a sister that's not gonna fly. And I promise you, 80 to 90% of the times, he gonna be cheating on that white girl with a black sister. You could believe that. And possibly sharing the resources that he getting from that white woman. Black women, when they date a white man, it's almost all the time. Not all, but they know how we feel as black men when we see them with a white man. So a lot of time, most of the time, not all, but most of the time when you see a black woman dating a white person, a white man, what she trying to do is she trying to get back at black men. And she know that every time black men see her, we gonna feel some type of way. Reason number one. Reason number two, the white boy is more, the white man is more, he's the, first of all, the white person, just being white, just being white is a symbol. Is a financial stability symbol, is a security symbol. So the white man, he gonna be secure. And also, most importantly, the white boy, and this goes for the white woman as well, they gonna be so starstruck and proud to have a black woman that they gonna literally lick her boots and worship the ground that she walk on. And this is why I tell my brothers that we need to get back into that state of worshiping the ground that our black women walk on, and vice versa for our women need to be worshiping the ground we walk on, because we need to bring black love back together. I know females, and I already said about the men, they probably 9 times 10 gonna be cheating on the white woman. But the black women that date white boys, I'm telling you, and it's something I see right now, I know some. Listen, they will be literally in a relationship, I'm talking about living with a white boy or white man, and have a whole relationship with a black dude. And the black dude know what's going on. He ain't tripping, right? And so most of the and it's just not, and it's not normal. And like I say, most of the time you see the interracial relationship, especially with black and white, is not about love. It's about ulterior motives, right? So yeah, another thing, if you reproduce, with a white person and you black, or you're a black man and you have a baby with a white woman, or you're a black woman and you have a baby for a white man, I know y'all. I know this is something that a lot of people don't know. But those children, yes, they do come out very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But not only do they have to go through their life, especially in school years of trying to be accepted, and they never really fully get accepted. They get picked at by being a mutt, bullied, right? This is what you put your children through when you want to quote unquote reproduce outside of your race. Not to mention that, God forbid, but if they have any kind of um transplant that they need, a blood transfusion or bone marrow, anything dealing with their health, and they need a transplant of it, having a transplant done for interracial child is so hard. It's so hard to find. It's almost impossible. But I know I've heard to my knowledge. I think they came up with a organization that strictly had got organization that they started just strictly for that because it was so hard for interracial child to get a transplant or get a bone marrow transplant. That's really what I was reading about. It was a child who was he was trying to get a bone marrow transplant, and because he was in the race, it was like next to impossible. But I think it did happen for him, and it can happen because as you see, it's being more and more pushed. You started seeing it in commercials. You didn't see that 10, 20 years ago, and so it's getting more popular interracial relationships, right? And you know so they trying to come up and so they able to combat that, but it's just not normal, and that's one of the reasons that says it's not normal. You know what I'm saying? That you got to go through all that if they come up with a sickness. And I mean, not when I say looking for a transplant, not because they try to find out, like say if they need a heart or they need a lung or whatever. Not because it's not hard to get a transplant because of the particular organ. It's hard because the blood is mixed, right? There's two different races. This not a pure person. It's a impure. Well, it's a pure. It's a real person, but they not pure because they mix with two different races. And we know that white people and black people genetics are completely different. So when you put these genetics together, yes, most of the time it makes a beautiful child, but they have a lot of if they ever have medical complications, it's harder to get them help versus a regular all white child or all black child. And it's so crazy to me. I always tell people, um, it's so crazy to me because don't you know that even animals, right? And God gave us reign over animals. We way smarter than animals. Well, most of us is. 'Cause I don't know about some people, but most people are smarter than animals, right? But don't you know that a polar bear will not have sex with a black bear? A lion will not have sex with a cheetah. A cheetah will not have sex with a tiger. And they all a cat family, all of the bear family. They will not sleep with nothing. Now I'm saying they got these people who bringing these animals in laboratories, and because I know people are coming to comment and say, well, I know they about the liger when they made the tiger and the lion mixed together, but these people put these in the laboratory and bred these animals, trying to come up with some foolishness. But I'm saying if they in they wild, in they rare form in the wild, a natural form, they will not sleep and reproduce with nothing but their own kind. Why is that? Because if bluebirds begin to sleep with red birds, or grizzly bears begin to sleep with black bears, or tigers begin to sleep with uh lions, or whatever the situation, you know what will happen? The natural lion will become extinct. The natural polar bear will become extinct. The natural black bear, will become extinct. So these animals were trained by instinct to, even dogs. Now you might catch a dog but for the most part, dogs only reproduce with their own kind. That's just how it works. You're not gonna see a pit bull and a poodle reproduce, right? And that's just animals that know better than to do that. But human beings, they want to do it, and like I say, it's very selfish because the children get bullied, and even though they might be beautiful children, they get bullied. They go through life having identity issues, don't know who gonna accept them, and like I said earlier, God forbid they get sick, and it's just so hard to find them help medically because they blood is not pure. It's have this and have that, right? And so, you know, me and I'm and use me for example. I'm use me for example. And this is another thing that I know that we not supposed to date outside race. And now this is an opinion for me. Maybe everybody can't share this opinion, but this is something that I dealt with. Like, I've dated Mexican women. I've dated white women. I'm attracted to all women. For example, I want to be clear. I'm attracted to all women. But the time that I've dated outside my race, it's like it's a void. It's something missing. I'll be happy. I've never been in love with somebody outside my race, but is everything good? But I see a black woman and I'll be like, man, you know what I'm saying? And I always was cheating with a black woman in the past. That's how I was in the past before I came to Christ. I was a cheater, and so, but when I would be with a black woman, I'm not saying I never cheated on a black woman, but when I would be a black one, I would feel more fulfilled, and I would feel like this is natural for me. Like everything about the black, we know they got a lot of black women, that's kind of out of control, and we know we got a lot of brothers who is just not worth a quarter. But you have to seek out your person. Everybody has a person, and your person is gonna be perfect for you. And we gotta stop troubleshooting with all these women. We gotta stop leaving our seed with all these women and leaving all these black women angry and upset to the point where they leaving black men and going and date these other races. Right? And even the ones who never had children, they looking at with their other homegirl, they cousin or somebody, man, they got all them babies out of wedlock, and I'm just not dealing with that. I'm going to be a white man. And the same thing for the brothers. You got a lot of black women out here that are completely out of control on Instagram and, doing too much, and, it make it feel like sometimes like, damn. But they got good, amazing, beautiful black women out there that's not like that, that's good women. And it's just something about the black woman, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, because my mama is a black woman, and I just don't see myself marrying at this point. Like I said, I've dated in the past. Like, at this point in my life for the last couple of years, I won't even date nobody outside my race. You know what I'm saying? I'm only dating and reproducing. I don't have children at this point, so I'm only going to date and reproduce with a black woman because I want my daughter to look like me and I want my daughter to look like my mama. I don't want my daughter walking around. I just don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to let these women talk about it, and of course I'm gonna chime in.
People asking me my thoughts on interracial dating, and I would never date a white man. I don't want to see pink to save my life. It's so funny. There was a tweet where it was this woman shaking the fork. It was like, this is how I feel when my friends say try white, and it's like, oh, gross, yuck. I don't want it. I don't want it. But it's interesting now, just talking about like the socioeconomic standpoints of interracial dating. Also just being okay with you can't choose who you love. And then just seeing now our prominent figures, people who actually are in the forefront of speaking about black love and creating black art on the back end, being with white partners.
Child.
You said who?
I said child.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel?
I have a distorted, messed up perception about it because
really,
I love Jonathan Majors. And he was quiet.
I listened to this episode.
He was quiet.
I listened to this episode. Y'all have not listened to Around the Way Curls. Please get to Around the Way Curls.
Wait, Jonathan Majors, for those of you who do know, please break it down because of the way they cape for his ugly ass, and he ugly bitch. That man is not cute.
No, ma'am.
So y'all
not going to do
looking
this.
from the neck down.
We're not going to do
Y'all
this,
looking from the
Mandy.
neck down?
We're not going to do this, Mandy.
That is not a fine, attractive man to me.
Yes, it is.
Oh, because what, he was chasing demons in Lovecraft Country?
He doesn't have the most.
I'm not even talking about face. I don't give a fuck. Now you're going to the European standards of beauty.
No, in just terms of, okay,
bro,
whatever.
I'm talking about that nigga ain't a nigga I would look twice at if I walked past him in the street. Y'all bitches wouldn't either, but it's okay. Y'all like his abs and
I like his way of being. There's something in watching his interviews.
You know what I mean?
I like his eyes.
Watching his interviews. The same thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is not a very handsome man, but he has a presence. He has presence. He's attractive.
Because he's a millionaire.
No, even before that,
bitch. Did you see the?
If he was like a broke guy, like a drug dealer, no, I probably wouldn't give him the time of day. But given the attention that he has, given the affluence and the influence that he has,
yes,
he's attractive. He's intelligent. He's talented. He has good taste.
Yes. Okay.
Aside from his taste in women, but
Beyonce,
carry on.
What'd you say?
Aside from Jonathan Major's taste in women, he's attractive.
She was just talking about Jay-Z. Go back to Jonathan Majors.
To my fucked up point of view, and I understand. I have something tweaked in me.
Okay.
I have been admiring him and his work for a long time.
Okay.
I've been looking at his little Vogue at-home videos and everything, and I was like, wow, he is attractive. I like his way of being. I bet he has a white girlfriend. There was something in me that felt that when it comes out, it's going to be a white woman. And when Antoinette revealed to me that he was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman.
Very white.
It crushed it.
Not even a spicy white.
I don't celebrate that. And me as a biracial woman, I understand
That's weird, right?
That's weird. I'm not going to celebrate their children that they have. If they have children.
Wait, you're not going to celebrate the
Oh my
I'm not
God.
going to celebrate. I'm just saying, like, it's not, their relationship is not something that it doesn't make me be like, yes, like, you know, some people together, you're like,
even though that's how you got here.
Together.
That's how we all got here. A white woman and a black man.
But here's the thing, right?
I'm like that lady down the street that permed my hair when I was younger, mumbling.
Like, this bitch don't know what the fuck she's doing.
White mom. Like,
You know what? But you know what I think that stems from, right? And I think we're seeing a lot more of it now, and it gets under my skin as well. We have been ridiculed and critiqued on both sides of the fence our entire existence, right? We're never white enough for the white people. We're never black enough for the black people. For some black people, however we identify, however we choose to participate in cultural conversations, it's always under the magnifying glass. And I think part of what we're seeing now and what I get agitated about is this concept that now, because it's commercially trendy and attractive for people to be in interracial relationships, it's become a presentation of diluted blackness versus its own us being having a mixed experience that is completely separate from everything else. And I think that's the part that I'm resentful about, is seeing, you know, and somebody brought it up to me. It was like, well, aren't you happy to see like all these mixed families in Cheerios commercials? And my response is no, because it's not. The storytelling is not a mixed story. The storytelling is, this is what's digestible for white people. This is the version of blackness that works for white people, which is not the same thing. So I'm resentful of seeing.
And I want to chime in right there. I want to be clear. Listen, man. That's another thing, and I spoke about this in the video that I had. I'm gonna link that video in the description. And I spoke about this in the video. Listen, man. Let's just be honest about it. You know, we live in a day and age now where, you know, everybody got to be accepting of everything, or they go get canceled or demonized or, you know, whatever. But let's be honest about it. Let's go ahead on and, you know, cut to the chase. These white people do not want you in their family, black man. These white people do not want you in their family, sister. They don't. I'm sorry, they don't. Those white people believe in their bloodline staying pure. And let's also be honest about it. You know, just to be fair, black people don't want you white people in our family. And when I say it, I'm not saying it as a racist thing. I'm saying it as, for me, even for me, I'm super anti-racist. I love all people. As a matter of fact, I don't even look at people color. I judge them by the content of their character. But I wouldn't want my daughter bringing no white boy home. I wouldn't want my son bringing no white girl home. If they did, I would accept it and treat whoever that person is that they love with respect. The same respect as I would treat if it was a person of their same color. But I don't want it, because I would rather my bloodline stay pure. And that's how everybody should feel, if you want to be honest about it. So, you know, she's saying that, you know, more digestible to white people don't be wanting that. White people don't be happy with that. When you see the issue they got going on right now with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. You know what I'm saying? Meghan Markle don't even look black, but it's a bloodline thing with them people. You got to understand, these people is a royal bloodline, and they wanted their royal bloodline to stay white like they are. He going being a radical, marrying this black woman, and maybe he fell in love, because like I say, sometimes love happens. You know, we don't always pick love, and there's certain time where we work around somebody, or we just around somebody, however we get around them, and they're of an opposite race, and we fall in love. It happens. Like I said, I don't always say it's about exterior motive. I said most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna let you know, man. These and it's just awkward. It's just awkward. Like, for the white girl or the white dude that come around the cookout and all that, they might get treated right. You know, some family members, you know, in a black family member, we wear our sleep, we wear our feeling, we can't hide how we feel sometimes. So people it's gonna be a mixed emotion for when white people come to, you say, a cookout, a family reunion, or a holiday gathering, and it's awkward for them. It's awkward for a white girl, or a white man to come around us. It's just awkward because why? It's abnormal. And the same thing for us when we go around them. We go around because I've done it. You go around these white people families, they cookouts or whatever they got going on. You know, whether you be a black man or a black woman, you gonna feel awkward because why? It's abnormal. It's not, you're not gonna have no Uncle Eddie around that's drunk, and everybody in black family, all black families just alike for the most part. For the most part, you got the educated cousins that who think they all that. And you got the ones who, you got you got all kind of you know how, if you black, you know how black families is. And like I say, this channel really geared toward black people, so the black people that's gonna come across it, you know what I'm saying, they gonna understand what I'm saying. Like, how the black families is. It's gonna be a whole bunch of what you call it? I forgot. Passive aggressive. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of food. It might be a fight. Somebody gonna get drunk and say something that they really meant but didn't really want to say. You know how it is at black family, and it's a lot of love too. It's a lot of love, and this is it's a whole different atmosphere at a white cookout. And you go to these white gatherings with your significant other, and you feel awkward because the stuff that you used to seeing, because you've been seeing it your whole life at black family gatherings, you're not gonna get to see that at the white family gatherings. It's gonna be awkward, and that's awkward for a reason. Anytime something is awkward, for the most part, it's because it's abnormal, whatever it may be. So I'm gonna let her finish.
Mixed race couples when it's like, damn, but outside of television then, what about if you're just at a restaurant?
I don't mind seeing black women with white men. It gets even more toxic for me.
Oh, you're toxic. What? Bitch, what? Hold on. So you don't like,
It's toxic. I'm not saying you're claiming that there's makes any sense. I'm just telling you how I feel. It's fucked up.
Why do you feel that way?
Because for some reason, I feel like all of the black women that I know that are in relationship with white men are being loved up. They are exalted. They're taken care of. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is.
Of course they are. And guess what else? She right about that, because the white boy most of the time, especially the white boy, but the white women too. But the white boy, they get to, not only do they get to flex on other black dudes that, hey, I got a black woman, and they worship the ground she walk on, because they feel starstruck to even believe, man, I got a black woman, right? And like I said, although they exalting that black woman, majority of the time, that black woman got a black brother on the side. I can promise you that. This is something that I know for a fact. Not all, but most situations.
Riding for this woman and loves her to death, and I'm like,
you don't believe black men do that for white women?
I don't. I guess there's something salty in me that why these men that we admire and are proud of in the ways that they show up in the world as musicians, as actors, as people that now have money, why is their love being projected onto a white woman?
But then let me ask you, with the other women that we looked up to, of course, Serena Williams being one, Eve, and we've talked about Eve so much on this. Okay, so there's women that we've looked up to, that we've loved, and whether it be their style of dress, Serena Williams being the best athlete of all time, they chose white men to not only be with but procreate with. So I want to know the understanding of where you look up to black men, and you have a disdain for them being with white women, but when we look up to black women, there's almost a celebration around them getting with a white man.
I can't sit here and y'all tell me, help me through this. I don't have a logical answer. I know that there's something distorted in me that when I see this, it makes me feel a way. And when I see another couple interracial, it's not the fact of being interracial that bothers me at all. Like, it doesn't even tap on my nerves or trigger me in any way as being a biracial person. I don't feel like my biracialness has anything to do with it, or at least I'm not aware of that. But I know that I have this bias there.
I think my bias comes from black men have been so vocal about the fact that they date other races instead of black women.
Yeah.
And that's why it rubs me the wrong way. Like,
because a lot of those brothers hurt. They mess with the wrong woman. Not only that, some of them incels. And what I mean by incels, they done been home so long, inside, stuck inside, and they watch what's going on. They watch the climate. They listen to all these YouTube guys who telling them, hey, MGTOW, hate the black woman, this, that, and the black woman. And they never really go experience black women for themselves. So they automatically say, you know what, I'm just going to date another race of women. Or some of these black men, this is another thing I've dealt with black men, their mother was just so evil, wicked, and nasty towards them, they just start hating black women for that. And and it could be that. Or like I say, it's just the climate of black women, which protruded to us, which we see on Instagram, what we see in the rap video, what we see how ghetto some of them are. It just make us feel like, man, I got to do something else because I just can't deal with that. How they always money hungry, but you know what? That's not all black women. That's a percentage of women. I wouldn't even say half or most, but it is a percentage of black women that are that way. But men got to get out there, figure out what they want, stand on what they want, date until they find what they want, and just give it a shot. But go and date and reproduce with the other race, white or whatever, it's just a bad idea.
You like white women, that's fine. Like I can understand anyone being attracted to anybody based on common interests, based on common talents,
Yes.
whatever it is that attracts you to a person, I believe in love firmly. But what I resent and what I get crazy about is when the conversation starts to become about the comparison of whatever their preference is to black women.
Especially when they reach a certain
Because black
though.
women who date white men, you never hear black women who date white men have a conversation around the fact that they don't like black
They
men.
said, nigga, I tried everything. Serena tried everybody.
But she
Serena
did.
really tried.
No,
she did.
So it's never
Common fucked up. Common,
Common
what the
was
hell?
the last
I ain't gonna
straw.
hold you. I used to want me some Common.
I
believe that.
But the way he's
Girl.
giving my tribe, but the way that it feels like Common has been dumped by all the bitches, I'm like something
And
something
he's
is
wrong.
something is
Something
wrong.
wrong with him.
Something is really
More
wrong
than
with
being
Common.
dumped, he like, I
They
don't
don't
know.
fuck with
They
him
don't
at all
fuck with him.
after.
Yeah,
Something
no.
ain't right.
Something happened.
It's
Angela
weird.
Rye dated him too. Like there's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
I guess I have a different, and it's strange. I don't want pink dick for whatever reason at all. I can't even watch it in porn.
Oh, my goodness.
I only want a black man. I don't even want a Latina because they eyebrows look better than mine. So, and they shave more than me. I'm good. Yeah, they legs be real smooth. Like, we're not doing this. But it's weird because in where I don't mind a white woman dating a black man probably comes from, I remember my mom through her dating phase, and she's had a lot of boyfriends. I remember one time she tried to go back white, and we had a conversation, or not back white, I don't think she ever really messed with white men, but she just wanted to try something different. And I remember her telling me a story about how this white man she was dating, she met him at like the bar.
That's one of the main issues too. That's a big problem when you call yourself trying to date to solve an issue that can't be solved. A lot of time we gotta look deep into ourselves and see if it's something that we are doing that's ruining all our relationship. But saying that, hey, you know what, every black woman that I date is this way, or every black man that I date is this way. It may be that, or it may be you. But either way it go is you for making a choice to keep choosing the same man without being able to notice the sign. But go and say, oh, I'm going to just I'm giving up on black love and I'm going to try to date this white guy. I'm going to try to date this Mexican or whatever other guy. It's just not the answer. It's just not the answer. And, we got a lot going on in our community for that, with us losing our lives, abortion, black on black crime. In some small situations, we getting killed by the police. And so we have to reproduce with our own, bring black love, bring black households back together with a mother and a father, and just strengthen black love by that instead of just giving up on it. I would never give up on it myself.
And she just left out that she had kids, and as soon as she mentioned us and her having black daughters, he was completely turned off. And it made her feel like, I'll never date anyone that will never accept you guys. Y'all are my pride and joy. And I remember just that one dating experience. She never went back to a white man at all because she just felt like there's no way I would ever be with someone who wouldn't fully be accepting.
Or that your kids would.
Well, and mind you, half of my whole white side of my family didn't really accept us.
I see.
So,
And that's another thing. I'm glad that's a funny point that she brought. Listen, man. Listen, brothers. Listen, sisters. and especially for the ones of you guys who have kids already. Go and bring your kids, your all black kids, around another race and calling yourself moving forward with that. That's just never a good idea. Because you got to understand, black culture and white culture is two completely different cultures. And nothing wrong with taking the good thing, because white culture got some good qualities. Got a lot of good qualities from white culture that you could take and or incorporate into the black culture. And the same thing for black culture. But at the end of the day, you know, having your children raised in a confused household like that, especially if it's not somebody who raised them, and this is going off what she said that her mom tried and gave up on black and tried white when she already had children with a black man. So I'm talking about that now. So if you already have children, say with a black man, 9 times 10, if you're a woman, you got custody of your children. Um, Bringing those black kids around that white man is just bad for a whole bunch of number of reasons that I don't even want to get into. It just not good having your black children around. And it could be, and it also can be good, right? It has pros and cons. I want to be clear on that. So I don't want to make it all like, oh man, it's the end of the world. No, it's pros and cons that if you meet a white man and he's willing to accept you and marry you or seriously date you and you got kids from a black man, because I've seen that happen. And a white guy accept the kids, and he's a good father, stepfather to him, and the kids accept him, and they just glad to have a man around in some situation. But it just once again it's gonna be abnormal because when he take, first of all, especially in a situation like that, when he take you around his family and you a black woman with all these black kids that's not for him, it's just gonna be very, very awkward and uncomfortable for you, black sister, and brother. Most of the time, brothers don't have the custody of their kids. So, say for instance, they did have kids with a black woman, brother, and now you dating a white woman or you marry a white woman. You know what I'm saying? The white woman, of course, gonna protrude and play like she accept him, and maybe she will. Like I say, it's pros and cons. She might accept him and love him as if they come out her own body, but her family might not accept it. She gonna always have a lot of um, negative negativity coming from her family and friends about that situation. You probably not gonna know about it, but it's just abnormal, man. It's just abnormal. But I'm gonna let her finish, and I'm gonna finish with my dialogue, and I'm gonna close out.
Oh. So to me, where if I see a white woman with a black man, it doesn't really mean me no good. 'Cause, I mean, oftentimes that ain't a nigga I want to be with anyways. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me. I don't know. I find it interesting all of our views on interracial dating. I'm looking for people that smell.
And so, I want to close out on that, and my thing is this, you know, like I say, I'm gonna put my other video that I made, I think about 2 years ago, about interracial dating, man. We gotta build the black family back up, and we can't give up on black love. I mean, at the end of the day, man, everybody got to do what's better for them in their situation. And like I said, sometimes stuff happen. You might be at a workplace, or you might be in some type of situation where you around another race, and y'all just so happen to create some chemistry and fall in love. I'm not saying that that's impossible, but I'm just giving you the pros and cons of that. And it just more negativity that's gonna come with that than positivity. You know what I'm saying? So, my black brothers and my black sisters, man, y'all date inside y'all race. It's somebody for you in the black race. You might have to wait a little longer. You might have to date a little bit more, but don't look at what you see and don't go off what you hear to judge your whole race. And this goes for my black women. This goes for my black men. You might even have some bad experiences, but never give up on black love, because black love is what we need. We need love, period, in the world today. But I'm speaking, like I say, this channel is pretty much geared for the black community, and it kind of pains me and to see that some of my black sisters then gave up and married. She mentioned a few people like Serena Williams and Eve. You know what I'm saying? This is black legends, prominent black women who then pretty much gave up on the black race and said, "Hey, I'm going swirl." And there's so many black men who did it. I can't even name all of them, and it's just tasteless to me. You know what I'm saying? But I respect marriage. I respect people's lives. I respect people and what they want to do. But like I said, this channel is geared to make the black community back what it is and what it's supposed to be by letting y'all know who y'all are. Because see, a lot of black people in our community is so dysfunctional because they don't know who they are. And so I want to bring you back to who you are, give you solutions to your problems, not be one of those guys on here talking about the white man, the white man, the white man, the white man. The white man is the least of our worries at this point. Um, I want to be solutions based and solutions oriented, giving y'all solutions to the problem that we have in our community. So I want to thank y'all for listening to this video. Have a blessed day.